Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your boy, the SeanDavieWay Show. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in and tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today, I bring you a video on a viral story between Telvin Osborne, whom was 30 years old, and Hannah Cobb, 25, a couple that went viral for a wild night out, and after, Telvin did not make it to the next day. Without holding you, let's get into the background of this story. Waynesboro, Georgia. The Burke County Sheriff said a fatal shooting over the weekend was not accidental and that a suspect has been arrested in the case. Sheriff Alfonso Williams held a news conference Tuesday afternoon to offer an update on the Sunday passing of Telvin Osborne, 30 years old. The sheriff said the unaliving has not been classified as accidental, and the unaliving occurred after both parties had been drinking. He said there was a confirmed altercation before the pow-powing. Hannah Cobb, 25, was arrested Tuesday on a charge of felony involuntary manslaughter and booked into Burke County Jail, according to the authorities. She remained in jail until Tuesday afternoon. This comes after the community and social media erupted after no immediate arrest was made in the case. Deputies say that around 5:45 a.m. Sunday, they responded to the 800 block of 4 Points Road in Keysville to investigate a report of a pow-powing. On the scene, investigators say they found Osborne in the master bedroom with one GUN shot wound to the chest. Investigators say Osborne was pronounced deceased at the hospital. Cobb was the person who notified authorities of the pow-powing and was applying pressure to the wound when they arrived. Cobb told deputies she and Osborne had been out all night and recently got home. Cobb told deputies in the report she was checking her firearm as they do every night. That's when the GUN went off, hitting Osborne. Cobb told deputies she thought the GUN was safe while checking it. Williams said at Tuesday's news conference that the investigation started in the wee hours of Sunday and that the authorities put in 48 hours, literally. The case required a considerable amount of time and attention to detail, ensuring there was a comprehensive sifting of the evidence. And we had filed appropriate charges, said Burke County Sheriff Alfonso Williams. According to Sheriff Williams, there's been misinformation spread about the case, including that the suspect cleaning the weapon when it went off. At no point during the investigation was there any information about a person cleaning a weapon, Williams said. Sheriff Williams stated alcohol was involved in the pow-powing, and they're not listing this as accidental. He also said there was an altercation with some pushing and shoving before the incident happened. It is reckless to go out and get drunk and then introduce a firearm into the argument, said Williams. After a thorough sifting of evidence and interviews with friends, family members, and other information gathering, we were able to secure warrants and make an arrest in this case, he said. He said that during a painstaking process, authorities were able to understand the relationships, habits, and lifestyle of those involved. He described the victim as a father, son, and employee at Savannah River site, adding, "This is very tragic that he's lost his life. This case is being treated as a homicide, and some of the family members felt the sheriff's office wasn't doing enough. Right now, the sheriff said more charges could be possibly, or charges could be upgraded."
We are here at this press conference, which we have called to provide some information to the public and to give an update concerning the investigation into the homicide that occurred on the 23rd of February, about 5:47 in the morning out at 861 4 Points Road in Keysville. Our investigators have worked tirelessly on this case. They're all in the back, on the back wall. Our entire team is there. I just appreciate the work that they have done and put into this case. It is what we do. It's who we are. We tell you all the time that you can trust us and you can trust our product. And our investigators have delivered our product. Our investigation started in the wee hours on Sunday, and I want to tell you that within 48 hours, literally, we were able to secure warrants and make an arrest in this case. Only 48 hours, but it's come with a lot of work. We are committed to being professional and achieving success, and that has happened here. The case required a considerable amount of time and attention to detail, ensuring that there was a comprehensive inquiry, a thorough sifting of the evidence, and we have filed appropriate charges. The process involves not only processing the crime scene and interviewing those persons who may be directly involved with the incident, but also constructing a timeline which led up to the event. This includes interviewing additional witnesses to identify contributing factors. We've conducted interviews with friends and family, and we have used that information to understand relationships and habits, lifestyle, and any history of the parties involved. This prevents introduction of charges that may not withstand scrutiny later. And so, in response to some recent misinformation, it's important for us to clarify that at no point during the investigation was there any information about a person cleaning a weapon. I know that has been some of the misinformation reported. The victim in this case is 30 years old.
Side note, so let's break this down a little bit. Telvin, which was the boyfriend, and then you have Hannah, which was the girlfriend. They both share 2 children together and have been in a relationship for years. They've had no prior incidents of anything physical or anything bad happening between the couple besides normal things that couples go through. There's no police reports or anything to establish that Telvin was violent towards Hannah or anything like that. So pretty much just an average day-to-day couple. And they went to the bar that night on Saturday, and Sunday morning when they returned home, there was a lot of arguing going on between the both of them. I'm assuming something may have happened at the club, and they got into an altercation, pushing and shoving one another, and a weapon went off, and Telvin ended up on the floor in the master bedroom with 1 wound to the chest. The original reports that came out on social media is that Hannah was allegedly cleaning her weapon, as she does every night, and the weapon went off in the process of her cleaning it, and that is how Telvin ended up getting pow-powed in the chest by the weapon. The sheriff indicated even in Hannah's report that is not true. Hannah never stated anything about cleaning a weapon or anything like that in the process of this altercation. Again, that does not make sense. We're arguing right now. We're really mad at each other, pushing and shoving. Let me sit down and clean my weapon. That makes no sense at all. So I completely agree with the sheriff when he states that isn't even possible. And then getting intoxicated and introducing a weapon into an argument is not the smartest thing to do, because things like this happen all the time. Hannah told the police that she was checking her firearm as she does every night, and in the process, that is when the weapon went off on its own. She thought it was safe on safety, and it wasn't, and he was in the line of fire and succumbed to the injuries later on at the hospital after she called 911 5:45 a.m. on Sunday. Telvin's family has been completely outraged because when Hannah did call the police and they did do their research to find out what happened to Telvin, she was never arrested, although her charges is for involuntary manslaughter. She was not cuffed. She was not brought into the station and arrested or anything like that. It's pretty much looked at as accidental in the beginning. It was the family adding pressure that made the police look harder into this situation and decide that, yeah, she should be arrested. And then they arrested Hannah. So again, I don't feel like the family should have had to do all of that. I don't think they should have had to call the police station every single day, up there at the police station all night and all of that, trying to figure out what's going on and why this woman is not arrested for unaliving our family member. So I couldn't agree more with the family. Again, I would have wanted her arrested immediately. Now, Hannah is out on bail. She got bailed out on Tuesday, so she's free. And again, there is no outrage. I was confused by there not being more outrage because usually with stories like this, race definitely does come into play. Again, this is a black man that is dating a white woman, and this white woman says that she accidentally pow-powed him, and there's no arrest made immediately or anything like that. If the shoe was on the other foot, if this was Telvin accidentally pow-powing Hannah, I think he would have been arrested right away. And I also think that they would have found out what happened during interrogation, not sitting there in the home and allowing him to freely speak and not arresting him, and them doing a 48-hour investigation before they decide to do anything. I don't feel like it would have happened that way. I think he would have been arrested immediately. I am a firm believer that people can date whomever they want to date. It doesn't matter the height of the person, the weight of the person, race, nationality. None of that stuff matters when it comes to the heart, because it knows no bounds. Many people get with people and marry them, and they look back on their prototype of the person that they wanted to be with, or their type, and that person doesn't match any of the bells or whistles that they were looking for. So again, the heart wants what it wants. I feel like the issue that comes in with interracial dating, especially with black men, is when you uplift another race or nationality and discriminate against your own. That is when it is an issue and when it becomes a big problem. So case in point, I love black women. If I'm in love with one and I'm dating one and I'm seeing one, it does not give me the right to bash other races and nationalities. I shouldn't say mean, morbid things about Asian women or Latin women or white women and vice versa just because my type, my prototype is a black woman. Like, that is not okay at all whatsoever. So when the outrage wasn't being poured out for Telvin, it made me go and research and find out, like, well, I wonder why people aren't speaking more on his behalf. It seems as if people are still either against Telvin or they just don't care about this story at all. So, doing my research, this is what I found. Telvin's social media handle is Telbo Rackins. It's on Twitter and a few other sites. He has been very disrespectful towards black women, and he comes from one, and his family is filled with them. And I completely understand now why a lot of people don't feel the need to fight for his cause when the majority of the people that are going to fight for his cause is the one that he's saying things like this about. Telbo said, I'll F a dog before I F a black bitch. It gotta be a white dog though. There's also other posts, including one that was on Facebook, and one of Telvin's family members tagged him. And the post pretty much stated, like, every family has that family member that loves white girls. And he commented under with the, yep, sure does type of energy, which again, there's nothing wrong with having a preference, but there is something wrong having a preference because you are discriminating against other people, especially when they're the ones that birthed you. So it is very disgusting, the attitude that he had towards black people and black women specifically for no reason. I don't care what happened to you in life. That does not give you a reason to be prejudiced. Meaning, If a black girl did something to him when he was younger, if his mom did something or disappeared, or I don't care about none of that. That gives you no reason to judge people before you even speak to them. To blanket all of these women and make them seem as if they are trashy and, all of this stuff ghetto and that they could never, be your standard of woman when they have done nothing to you. And they are going to be the ones that fight for you, not the women that look like Hannah. White women are not going to come to your defense. They're not, because again, why would they? What do you have in common? Because with black people, no disrespect to any other race or nationality, but this is what we do. If you are black and something happens to you, that is enough for us to back you. That is enough for us to defend you because you are us. Telvin stating that he would rather F a dog before effing a black bee is insane. It's insane to speak of. It's insane to think of. And that was his way of thinking. And again, a lot of people are just isolating Telvin when it comes to that behavior. Like, oh, he basically hates black women and black people in general. But what about Hannah? What does that say about a female that would date a dude that'll say something like that out loud when she has black children herself? Again, Hannah has to be just as racist or just as prejudiced as he is, because what is the reason? I'm even starting to feel like maybe that was the motive. I saw that there are black girls around them in their town and also in the club. If you look at the video that's on the screen right now, you see Hannah in the bar and you see a black female approach her. So clearly there's black girls around. Was the energy that maybe Telvin saw a cute black girl that he actually didn't mind, that he would actually F before effing a dog, and she saw that, and when she got home, it was trouble in paradise? Or was it another white woman, another glass of milk that walked past and made Hannah feel the need to go home and take her baby daddy out? Of him being prejudiced, regardless of what he said about the black community and whatnot, right is right and wrong is wrong. But that does not mean that we have to fight for you when you are saying things like this. You're saying that you would end lives for her and that you will also let your life be taken for her. You truly have to be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. So according to Telvin, with Hannah taking his life, isn't that justified? Isn't it okay when he said that he would give his life up for this same set white woman that took it away from him? Again, right is right, wrong is wrong. I understand that. But we in the black community do not have to fight for someone that would not have wanted us fighting for him. That is his way of thinking. His way of thinking, he don't F with us like that. He don't think highly of us like that. He don't stand for our stands. He don't fight our fights and whatnot. So at this point in time, I am going to encourage the white community to fight for Telvin, because I honestly don't feel like we should. We don't have to. And it doesn't make us less black, or it doesn't make us insensitive or anything like that. No, not at all. Again, be careful what you wish for, because you just may get it. He never saw himself as being on one of those t-shirts. He never saw himself as this white woman that I am putting on this pedestal is going to be the same one that is going to take my life, the same one that is going to take me away from my children. He did not look at it that way. He looked at her as more so of a white savior. So let her be just that. There are bigger things going on in the black community that we need to be paying attention to and we need to be fighting for. Like Naziah Harris in her case. There's a 15-year-old boy that just unalived a man because he was putting his hands on his mother, and they arrested him. Unlike Hannah. Hannah takes a black life and it's fine. She gets to sit at home and cope with her children after she just took their father away from them. But this young boy tries to save his mother, although how many women have lost their lives to DV, and he is incarcerated for it at 15 years old? Yeah, Telvin can take a back seat, will pass on fighting for you when there are people that need our assistance. I love you all. I will see you on the next video. Until next time, bye.